ये इंटरनेट के बोले सर लंबा है
So good morning, one and all present here. So without further delay, let us start with the proceedings of this inaugural ceremony. So at the first, I invite all the dignitaries to come on the dais and take their seat. Please, sir. Please. I request all the dignitaries to proceed for lighting the diya, which is our tradition in India.
Please sir
Please.
Let's go.
please come sir please you also one of our honorable guests please like so this is all George please come please. Sir.
Thank you, sir. Please take your seat. So now, our tech scholar, Mr. Bhavani Day, will welcome all the dignitaries on the guest by offering our traditional gamcha. So we start with our guest, Professor Bosniak. Next, our director in charge, Professor M. Ali. Next, our Dean Academic, Professor S. Busha. Next, Head of the Department, Electrical Engineer, Dr. Saurabh Chaudhary. Next, we have Dr. Pramod Patwari, Local Gyan Coordinator, NIT Silchar. Next, Professor B.K. Roy, Coordinator of Control Research in NIT Silchar. Next, I would like to request our Director in Charge, sir, to present a memento on behalf of NIT Silchar to Professor Alexander Pozniak as a token of love and respect. Professor Pozniak, please accept a memento from NIT Silchar. This is our state symbol. State symbol. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So, good morning, one and all present here to this inaugural ceremony. As a coordinator for this course, it's my privilege to welcome all of you to this Gyan course at NIT Silchar, the topic for which is robust control, attractive ellipsoid method, and sliding mode control. It's my honor indeed to welcome our director in charge of the institute, who in spite of his schedule, many administrative work, is here and is gracing this function. I, on behalf of entire NIT family and electrical engineering department in specific, heartily welcome Professor Alexander Simon Pozniak, Gorbach, Professor Emeritus, CINVESTAF, which stands for Center for Research and Advanced Study under National Polytechnic Institute, Mexico, District Federal. So, sir, it is indeed a great honor for us that you are here today as an expert for the course. And thank you for accepting our invitation to conduct this course here. I welcome Dean Academic, Professor S. Bush, who, in spite of his schedules, classes, and administration, has agreed and accepted our invitation and is here to grace the function. Next, of course, the main person behind Dr. Patwari, the main person behind running the show, many courses, not the only one course. We have many Gyan courses going on in our institute, is the main person behind running that course. We are the one who are only implementing the things. Sir, thank you that you are here today with us. I welcome Dr. Saurav Chaudhary, Head of the Department Electrical Engineering, to be with us here today. Next, of course, the most important pillar you can say for Control Research Group, Professor B.K. Roy, who is here with us. And sir, thank you very much to be with us here. Next, I sincerely welcome all the faculty members, staff, and students of this institute for their presence to this inaugural ceremony. Now, the most important component of the course, the participants. I really extend my warm welcome to all the participants of this course who has registered for this course, and especially to those participants who has come all the way from other parts of the country. And I need to mention about Professor Koshi George. I need to introduce Professor Koshi George is a well-known control theoretician in India and abroad, working in PES University, Bangalore, and very well known even to Pozniak from long time, I believe, because of his postdoctoral, during your postdoctoral time. And I thank you very much because of my personal invitation. You immediately agreed that as Professor Pozniak is coming, I will definitely make it to Silchar. Thank you, sir, and welcome to you. I'm very happy and grateful to all the participants who have taken all the pain to come down to NIT Silchar for attending this course from different institutes. We sincerely extend our heartiest welcome to all our external participants. And now let me briefly introduce you, Professor Pozniak, to all of you formally. Though it is a very illustrious CV, it's not possible for me to read everything. As brief as possible, I will try to introduce Professor Pozniak. Professor Alexander Pozniak was graduated from Moscow Physical Technical Institute in 1970. He earned a PhD and doctorate degrees from the Institute of Control Science of Russian Academy of Science in 1978 and 1989 respectively. From 1973 up to 1993, he served this institute as a researcher and leading researcher, and in 1993, he accepted a post of full professor 3F grade at Sinvesta of IPN in Mexico. It is in Spanish, IPN, so we call it National Polytechnic Institute. 8 years, he was the head of Automatic Control Division. He is director of 41 PhD theses, 37 in Mexico. He has published more than 210 papers in different international journals and 13 books, including Adaptive Choice of Variants, Learning Automata Theory and Applications by Elsevier, Learning Automata and Stochastic Programming, Springer-Verlag, Differential Neural Network, Identification, State Estimation, and Trajectory Tracking, World Scientific, Advanced Mathematical Tools for Automatic Control Engineers, Volume 1, Deterministic Technique, Elsevier, Volume 2, Stochastic Technique, Elsevier, Robust Maximum Principle, Theory and Application, Burkhauser, Robust Output Optimal Control via Integral Sliding Mode, Burkhauser, and Attractive Ellipsoids in Robust Control, Burkhauser. These are all very recent publication, 2014, so you can understand how active he is still. He is a regular member of Mexican Academy of Science and System of National Investigators. He is fellow of IMA, Institute of Mathematics and its Application in UK, and associate editor of Oxford IMA Journal of Mathematical Control and Information, Cybernetica, Nonlinear Analysis, Hybrid System, IFA. He was also associate editor of CDC, Conference on Decision and Control, ACC, American Control Conference, and member of editorial board of IEEE CSS, Control System Society. He is a member of evaluation committee of SNI, Ministry of Science and Technology, Mexico, responsible for Engineering, Science and Technology Foundation in Mexico, and a member of Award Committee of Premium of Mexico on Science and Technology. In 2014, he was invited by USA government to serve as a member of National Science Foundation Committee on Neurosciences and Artificial Intelligence. So this is a brief profile of Professor Wozniak. Sir, welcome once again, and we really deeply honored that you accepted our invitation. So now I will invite our HOD Electrical to say a few words on this question.
Our chief guest, Professor Alexander Wozniak, respected data engineers, Professor M. Ali other dignitaries present on the dais, and my dear participants, colleagues. I welcome you all in this August occasion, as well as in this particular Gyan course. It is our great privilege and honor to get such an eminent personality in this institute, who has guided so many scholars, as you have listened from Dr. Rajiv Dey. More than 47 PhD scholars he has guided and produced, and 13 books he has published so far. So such an eminent personality is amongst us today, and I sincerely urge all these students, scholars to extract or grab this opportunity and utilize his expertise, interact in a useful manner, so that this interaction will pave you a avenue for research and other higher academic activities in future. And I will be most happiest person to find if any one of you can get an opportunity to do research or higher studies in abroad through his presence here. If you can make a impact or make an interaction in such a way that it can lead to at least at least one person from this audience, if you can get an opportunity to study or get higher studies opportunities in abroad, either in Mexico or in anywhere in this world, I'll be the most happiest person. And the goal of this particular Gyan course, yeah, is to have a uh, 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 what to say, like it is a step towards such a creation of such an opportunities. Thanks to Government of India for providing such an opportunity to every institutes in India to have such conducting such a Gyan course. And uh, I have very little idea about this particular course. It's a very specialized course. I'm not from man from control, so like it is control system definitely, but it is more specific. So actually, I feel that BTech students must also participate in this particular course, so that they also get how the teaching and learning process goes on in abroad. They must also get such an opportunities to listen and hear from such an eminent expert. But due to their regular schedule of classes and all, they rarely get chances, as well as the topic is very much specific, and that too uh, a very specific area of control, what is called sliding mode control and robust control especially. So I feel the people who are working in this particular area will highlight more about this course, as well as will be eager to listen from Professor Alexander Pozniak. Uh, okay, so this is what with this few words I uh, once again welcome you, sir, to NIT Silchar as well as Department of Electrical Engineering. It is our honor to get you here. Thank you.
Now I invite our Dean Academic, Professor S. Bhushan, to share his views.
Good morning to all. Professor Pozniak, Director in charge, other dignitaries on the dais, colleagues, other colleagues, my dear participants of this course. It is really a privileged morning for us to have such a great personality with us. I understand that I had a cursory look at the topics of this 5 days workshop. Even though I'm not from this area, control area, but what I have found, the topics will be very interesting. The real system control, and primarily it is robust. Nowadays, all our systems are so complicated, possibly without robust control, it's not possible to control. Rajiv, he has taken a lot of pain in making this network with such a great personality, and because of which possibly he has agreed to come here. He definitely deserves congratulations from all of us. And it shows that the control group of electrical engineering is really active. They have been doing well so far. I know that this course will definitely be beneficial to all of us, and in particular, this control group people. Any such course generally has three major objectives. One is obviously learning, and then networking. Most important is on nurturing whatever we learn here. So as Rajiv has developed a network with such a world-renowned personality, Professor Pozniak, I think this is a opportunity for all of us to have a good network with him, so that we can continue to get from him. I hope our organizers will make Professor Pozniak stay here comfortable, so that once again he does not he will accept our invitation And the last, naturally, I hope and I wish that this course becomes a grand success, so that the objective of this GYAN, the scheme by Government of India, is really fulfilled. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite our local GYAN coordinator to say a few words about GYAN also.
Thank you, Rajiv. Very good morning, respected Director in charge, Dr. M.A. Ahmed, Dr. S. Boisho, the Dean Academic, Dr. S. Chaudhary, the Head of the Department, Electrical Engineering Department, Dr. B.K. Rai, the Professor in Control Group in Electrical Engineering Department, and Professor Wozniak, our expert in this 6-day program on robust control. It is a GYAN program. As all of you know, we know that GYAN is an initiative of MHRD, is a global initiative in academic network. And this is the program NIT Silchar is taking a very active part in this. And I want to announce here that already in first phase, we have conducted 6 programs. And out of these, 2 were from Electrical Engineering Department, and that too by Dr. Rajiv Dey. So I congratulate Dr. Rajiv Dey for taking such an active part in organizing this sort of program and inviting the experts like Professor Wozniak in the department and to the institute and making a big network. And network is one of the very important aspects of the GYAN. That means the last N, that is on network only. So this GYAN program has multidimensional activities, as our Dean Academic has rightly said. One is the teaching learning, but the other part is the networking. So again, I welcome all the participants for this program so that they can take with them a good learning from this course. At the same time, I hope they can be able to make a good networking with Professor Wozniak and to his other colleague and his department and other resources also. If you can make use of this, then will be the real essence of the GYAN will be fulfilled. I take the opportunity to welcome Professor George, especially because at this age of this caliber, a professor, he's sitting here just like a participant. And that's a great motivation to all the participants, what I believe. Because sometimes students feel that how long I can sit in the classroom. Now just look at Professor George, and I hope none of the participants can say now that it's very difficult to sit for a long time in a classroom. Isn't it? So with that motivation from him, I hope all the participants will be very much actively participating in this course. And NIT Silchar is conducting this GYAN course in the 2nd phase. And again, I take this opportunity to share that NIT Silchar has got already the approval of 6 more courses. 1 course from Humanities Department has already been conducted. This is the 2nd, and number of courses are again in the line. 1 more course is coming from Electrical Department. And again, in the next week, we are having 1 course from Electronics Department and 1 from EI Department also. And again, 1 for Humanities Department. So number of courses up to December we'll be having. And I want to request all the participants, whoever is participating here, and especially those who have joined from other institute, please be the ambassador of this institute and pass this information to your other colleagues and friends so that they can also join and come to NIT Silchar, and they can again enjoy the environment of NIT Silchar for a few days and can have some give and take at NIT Silchar. And for this program, I extend my thanks to Professor Wozniak for accepting our invitation, and he's there with us. It's a great privilege for NIT Silchar, sir. And Again, I want to express my gratitude to MHRD for sanctioning the fund and all, and I express my uh, thank to IT Kharagpur, the national network, for giving us an opportunity for conducting this course. And I express my thank to each and every person, all the experts, and at the same time, all the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Professor Poznia to say a few words to us and share your views.
Good day for everybody. I am impressed. I never can imagine that I will be in India. This is my first visit in India. I have many friends from India, many famous persons. I know Professor George. I know his teacher, Professor Narendra, many years. I know Vidya Sagar. I know Thathachar. He passed away 2 years before, or maybe 6 years. I don't know. Some years before. So I'm very happy to be in India and present some course which I practically worked with this course about 5 years. For me, it's respectively new. It's never published in our science and control. No exist course like that. It's a especially original course. I started to give in my center of investigations and stuff, also in other university. And I never presented it in Russia and other places, so it's respectively new. Also, I would like to mention the main idea of the course. The main idea is very simple. The question is it possible to control some system if you don't know model at all? The answer is evident, it's possible. The good example, when you drive a car, you have now in your head any mathematical model of the car, but anyway, you do it well. So the main idea of the course to justify how to design a controller in this situation when you don't know model at all. Because before in science of control, in control science, were different areas of unknown, incomplete knowledge of the model. For example, adaptive control. You know structure, but you don't know parameters. According to this appears a new line of investigation which has a name identification. So you make identification, use this estimation in feedback, in control law, and this means adaptive control. This course, these ideas was known like adaptive control. Then appears in other areas of investigation when you know model but don't know disturbances. Disturbances may be stochastic, maybe deterministic. If it is deterministic, then appears course, and system was linear, appears course H infinity control. I briefly will mention about that. But in general, here's another line of investigation. It's filtering, how to make filters of external perturbations. But anyway, all of this, what I mentioned, assume that we know at least structure of the model. For example, if your model is described by ordinary differential equation, you know right-hand side. Maybe don't know parameters, but you know right-hand side. But my course will dedicate it when you absolutely don't know right-hand side. No parameters, no functions. You know only the number of states or number of variables which you are interested in, a number of compilation, a number of output. And we will design two, I will discuss two approaches recently, not so new, for example, but method interactive ellipsoid appears like 15 years or maybe 12 years, but sliding mode control is respectively old. The first results were obtained by Russian group of Yemelyanov and Avtorkin in 60s, in 1960. I will mention about this in details. So this is brief my presentation, what I hope to share with you. And thank you again for the invitation. I hope we can fulfill, complete our program completely. So for 6 days, 5 days of lecture, and 1 day discussions, and maybe some examples. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Kozin. Now I invite our director, sir, Professor Remy Ahmed, to share his views with participants, organizers.
Good morning to everybody. Dr. Professor Alexander Pozniak, our chief guest and expert for this 6 days course. Professor George, thank you, sir, for coming to NIT Silchar. On my esteemed colleagues in the dais, my colleagues, and other participants of the course. I, on behalf of the Institute and on my personal behalf, I welcome Dr. Pozniak to NIT Silchar and all the participants to NIT Silchar. It's our great privilege today morning that we have such an eminent personality with exceptional knowledge, I will say, because Dr. Rajiv was reading his CV, I was really amazed if we could have also done part of that. So, what is depth of knowledge we can imagine from his CV itself. So I will request all the participants, earnest request rather, to extract as much as possible from Professor Alexander during these 6 days through various types of communication mode, and please have a bonding with Professor Alexander as well as Professor George, because he is also one of the installers in our country, as far as I know, so that we can continue our research. This collaboration is very essential for research, that already all of us know that. So the basic objective of the GAN course is also explained by our Dean Academic and coordinator GAN course. So it's not only learning, in addition to learning, the networking is very, very important, and particularly interdisciplinary research. Very, very essential nowadays. So with this, I will request our organizing committee to see that all the participant and our expert feel homely in our campus. Please see that part, so that they become an ambassador for NIT Silchar. All of them become an ambassador for NIT Silchar. That should be our objective. With this, I again welcome all of you and wish a very successful program. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So we have some couple of minutes to wind up this ceremony. So I will say a few words about Pozniak, which I did not say in his profile. how I know him. I came to know him when I was doing my postdoc in Mexico, in Vesta, for 7 months. At that time, he introduced me actually. He came to my office and introduced himself. So you see such personalities when they are at work, they don't mind that who is sitting next to you, senior, junior. It's only because of some problem that he was interested to solve, and he said, I invite you to my office and can we discuss on some problem? And he heard me discussing about that problem with someone, and he said, I invite you to my office, please come. I also want to know about it. So this is how I came to know, and I was personally, I got introduced to him. So such people of such stature has different, altogether different behavior and attitude. That's what we are also learning in our life actually. And to tell about Professor Pozniak, his PhD scholar, he was a PhD student of a scientist called Zipkin. We know a great mathematician, Russian mathematician, who worked on fundamental mathematics actually, and now control system people are borrowing those theories actually to solve. So he is a man of learning theory, adaptation, absolute stability. Zipkin was a man of that, and he has worked with scientists like Boltiansky, who was a student of Pontryagin. So he worked with such people who are fundamental control theoretician coming out from Russian post-World War II. So he was with that association. So it's really a great honor for us. And about Koshi George, why he is stalwart? Because he is a PhD from IISc Bangalore. He was a student of Professor Sitaram Bhatt. Everybody knows him, Sitaram Bhatt from IISc Aerospace. And then Professor George did his postdoc under world-renowned Kumpati S. Narendra, who is Life Fellow of IEEE and great contribution in adaptive control and learning theory. So everybody knows about Narendra all over the world. And that's the type of personalities we have here this time. So I think interaction with George will also be, we will get to know many more things having interaction. When both stalwart will interact, we'll come to know more about it. So anyway, continuing with this program, I would like that participants of this course, please introduce yourself so that we get to know each other. Okay, so we'll start with Professor George.
I'm Koshi George from PS University, Bangalore. I've been there about 12 years now.
Myself, Rashmi. I'm from PS University and I'm doing my PhD under Koshi George. I'm Lochha from NIT Center doing my PhD.
My name is Prakash Majumdar. I'm doing MTech, Control and Digital Automation from NIT Center.
Myself, Dr. Taimur Khan, Assistant Professor, EC Department and NIT Center.
He is the coordinator for the next course.
Okay. I'm Nalin Prashad Mohanty. I'm a PhD scholar of NIT Center.
I'm Siddharth Ganguly. I'm a MTech student in Control and Automation.
I am Jeet Kole and I am MTech student, first year in Control and Automation.
I am Rahul Chakraborty. I am a CIS student in NIT Center.
My name is Anmol. I'm also a control student, MTech first year.
Good morning. My name is Poetry Datta. I'm presently a MTech student and pursuing in Control and Industrial Automation.
My name is Michelle Daulondipo. I am currently pursuing MTech first year in Control and Industrial Automation from NIT Center.
My name is Simiti and I'm pursuing MTech first year pursuing in Control and Industrial Automation from NIT Center.
Myself Sanchali Sarkar. I'm pursuing Control and Industrial Automation in MTech from NIT Center.
I am Utsav Roki, MTech student from Control and Industrial Automation.
I am Pinto Kumar, pursuing MTech in NIT Center.
Good
Good morning, sir. I am Pankaj Prakash from Control and Industrial Group, NIT Selection.
I am Sumitra Varma and I am pursuing intake in Control and Industrial Automation.
I am T. Chiranjeevi, PhD scholar from NIT Silchar.
I am Sudhamani Sethi from NIT Silchar and I am pursuing my MTech.
Good morning, sir. I am Ankit Pal. I am pursuing my MTech in Control and Industrial Automation Department of NIT Silchar.
Good morning. I'm Richard. I'm from IIT Kanpur. I'm doing my PhD at IIT Kharagpur. I'm working under Professor Chandan Chakravarti and Professor Prabodh Bajpai.
I'm Tangakanamudi, PhD scholar from Madras Institute of Technology.
Good morning, myself Rajkumar Vishwas, faculty in IT.
Good morning, myself Asifa Yasmin. I am a PhD scholar in NIT Silchar.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sibir Ahmed, and I am pursuing MTech in Control and Industrial Automation Department.
This is Prasenjit Dev from NIT Agartala, pursuing PhD under Dr. Aniruddha Bhattacharya.
Myself, Pranadi Das. I am from MTech first year from NIT Silchar.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kunal Hazarika. I am pursuing Control and Industrial first year student from NIT Silchar.
Good morning, everyone. Myself Gaurav Kaur. I am studying in MTech in Control and Automation from NIT Silchar.
Good morning. My name is Deepak Prasad and I am a first year MTech student.
Hello everyone, I am Anirudh Nath, PhD scholar, Electrical Department.
Morning, everyone. Myself Shikon Das. I am a second year student of Control and Industrial Department.
Good morning, everyone. I am Ananda Vasu. I am pursuing my MTech in Control and Industrial Automation in NIT Silchar.
Hello everyone, I am Bishmita Sharma from the Electrical Department. I am pursuing my MTech first year in Control and Industrial Automation.
Good morning, everybody. I am Bhavani Shankar De, pursuing my MTech in Industrial Automation and NIT Silchar.
Good morning, all of you. I am Manush Kumar Bera, Assistant Professor, Department of Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering, NIT Silchar.
He is engaged the coordinator of one of the next program.
He is the coordinator for Shankar Bhattacharya. Next course. Thank you all the participants. Welcome once again. So now I request Professor B.K. Roy to do the vote of thanks. Please. Sorry.
Very good morning to all of you. Before I start my formal duty of vote of thanks, let me take this opportunity first to Professor Alexander Wozniak, Professor George, and all the research scholars, those who have come from outside NIT Silchar. Please visit our lab. Please visit our lab and give your valuable suggestion so that we can progress well in future. As my personal request, please take out some time, and we'll be extremely happy if we can go little more ahead with support from all of you, sir. Now, in my formal thanks, let me start from here. Let me start from the person without whom possibly nothing can be done. And the very first question, sir, I raised when I saw you in the morning, all the way from Mexico at this age, can we do it? That was my question. So answer in my growth was definitely no. We thank you so much, sir, that at this age, you have come all the way to Mexico, and that too, this is your first visit to India. Welcome to India. Welcome to our campus. Please feel free for anything to everything. Try to feel this place as your place, sir. And then All our official dignitaries are here. Our director in charge, sir, our dean academic, GAN course local coordinator, K electrical engineering department. We understand all of them have their personal schedule, and despite that, they are all here. So many thanks to all of them. All participants from outside, starting from Professor George and his scholar, and all other those who are coming scholar. I heard you are working at a Chandan. We were together when he was doing his PhD. Maybe I came out and after that he completed. You are all here with a purpose. I shall be extremely happy. If you go back with this note, yes, my purpose is out. And we did not say who is he. Everything is there, it's like an ocean, and we are in search of very small thing. My suggestion to all of the whole group will be, we do a lot of mathematics, but without understanding the physics behind it. Sliding mode control is common. Many of our scholars, they are doing on sliding mode control, but many a times we really do not understand difference between two different approaches, two different variants of sliding mode. So therefore, my request to all of you will be, please try to understand, taking this opportunity, the physics behind it, the difference between two different approaches. Or it will be very nice, if you can have a sequential development of different approaches, putting on the difficulties or the negative side of the other. Now, I shall also be happy as you have learned that Gyan is not the end here. Rather, this particular course begins here. The purpose of this course is the last aim, as a networking. For example, we had Madam Valentina. So we had interactions with her. Many of us are trying to do something with her. So that's the kind of interactions that we have built up, kind of network that we have built up with her. Now, my first year and second year MTech group, those who have a feel that possibly you will be, ending up as a research scholar in future, I hope you can, take help of this great man to understand what are the recent directions of doing your research. Fine? What are the recent directions, what are the recent challenges, so that you can take up a problem which will be easily sellable in the market. So with this, let me thank you all. Without you, we cannot have this course. And before I say concluded, this is a third course by Rajiv. So he deserves a big applaud for all this. And there are few people who are all the time helping us. You can see Pradeep. You can see this man, he is doing this camera recording for us. There are few volunteers come participants. So I thanks all those volunteers for helping us to organize this course. Finally, to all the participants, especially those who are from outside, please feel it at home. If there is any issues which we have not noticed, please bring it to us so that we can do something to reduce your difficulties of you staying at this place. And finally, with my hopes and best wishes that this will definitely, and with a very good success note, I conclude it here, and thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our director, sir, to declare this Gyan course open.
Thank you for giving this opportunity to me. I declare the course open. Thank you.
Now I request everyone present here to join us for high tea. High tea is a way that we interact with everyone, introduce each other to everyone. So please join us for high tea. Okay, in the meantime, we'll have a group photograph of participants. Okay. So first we'll have photograph and then we'll come for high tea. Okay. Yeah, we'll assemble here. Okay, the course will. It was 12 to 1, so we'll be little late, maybe 20 minutes here and there. So it may start from 12:15 and we'll continue up to 1:15, right? Thank you all. So we start with session 1 of this course. It's on mathematical preliminaries, preceded by Professor Poznaik's life in control that he will first tell us, and then he will start with some mathematical preliminaries for the course.
Okay. It would be logical for me to start my course mentioning the person play a significant role in my life, and thanks to these people, I created my career and control. It will take around 30 minutes, maybe 30, 45 minutes. And after that, I will start official course. But this part, it's only to present you the person who participated in more information. Like okay. No, this is my photo in 49. I had 3 years old, and it's very important to mention one fact that in exactly the same day of my birthday, 6th of December, 46, Stalin signed a decree on creation of special university, MFTI. It was very secret university. The very famous person participated in its creation. Most of them Nobel Prizes like Kapitsa, like Semyonov, like Landau, Lifshitz, Prokhorov, Basov, all of them are Nobel Prizes. So this decree was signed especially to design two programs, 60s and 46. Do you know that American government tested atomic bomb 45, pushing two bombs in Japan? And Stalin understands that USSR should obligatory to have to open two programs. First program is creation of atomic bomb and after hydrogen bomb. Second one to create program of missile, international, intercontinental missiles. And finally, I worked as a second program with many persons who participated in all this with this program. So I am a unique person in USSR who was born at the same time with this university. So it's a special date for me. This is I'm student in 64. Maybe a little bit recognizable. Yes. In 60s, the control theory practically before Second World War, the control theory was designed in German. German science was the first, was Second World War. But during the Hitler period, this science practically disappears. I can confirm that up to now, practically no German scientist, famous German scientist in control theory. So fascist regime practically destroyed this science in Germany. But in the beginning of after this period, most of important control persons were concentrated in USSR, not in US. US appears after that. I would like to mention one interesting fact that you know name of Alexander Mikhailovich Lyapunov, Lyapunov functions. You know this. His thesis, which contains the basic result, was finished in 1892. And only first survey about Lyapunov function appears 60 years later in USA, in 1951. So people in US never used Lyapunov functions before. So in USSR, the people who had a great impact, control theory, I would like to mention this Andronov, Macher, Feldbaum, Eiserman, Letov, Andreagin, Krasovsky, Tsipkins, all of this. With some of them I personally contacted. With some of them not, I will show you photos. And in abroad, only 3 persons were famous. It's Berman, Kalman, and Vasily Mikhailov, it's Romanian person. So the school of control science in the USSR was impressive. And but after 93, thanks to Gorbachev and Yeltsin, Russian science was completely destroyed. I would like to mention that in '92 I obtained invitation from the Mexican government. They invited famous professors to program of I would say to designing of any science in Mexico, physics, chemistry, and so on and so on. So in the staff were invited several persons, like in different areas. At that time I had 36 years, so I already 25 years since I started in Mexico, so I'm half my life in Russia, half only during 2 years, from 92 up to 94, 120,000 scientists leave Russia to work abroad. You understand? So practically now, any science in Russia should start from the beginning. It's not. To destroy it, it's enough 5 years, but to create, we spend 50 years. So now Russian science practically. And moreover, the young persons in Russia now have no interest to study theoretical science. They prefer to work in banks, in financial sphere, in some service, in some industry, but not in science. So it's some problem. In Russia, all of those things to Gorbachev and Yeltsin. How the person during 5 years can destroy the great state. Okay, so this is Andronov. I had 5 years, I never contacted him, but his impact control theory is very, very important. He published a book in 36. Not published, he prepared the book for publication in 36. These 2 persons, this book had 3 authors, Haken and Witt. And in that period, the 2 second authors, Haken and Witt, were declared like enemies of the USSR people. So government suggests Andronov, you can publish the book, but without these 2 authors. He say, no, I will not publish. But his notes were transferred some way to Germany, to France, I don't know, in Germany. And it was published in in the past. And this was the first book on nonlinear systems, nonlinear control theory and nonlinear system. You can find it in library now. It's very, up to now, it's very important book. Then after Second World War, it was rehabilitation. One of the author, one of the second author, Hiking, says with him no problem. You can publish with Hiking, Dronov and Hiking, but with no. It was executed in 36. So his enemy without him. And Andronov said, no, I will not publish. He died in 52, and first his edition of his book with 3 authors, it appears only after Stalin's death in 56. So Andronov never saw his book. But his impact for me is very important. I studied nonlinear theory using him. Khalil still not appears. Now Khalil is with his excellent book. It's first book in nonlinear theory, but before. Felix Gafmacher. I entered the institute in 64, exactly this year, and he died. But his book, and also you can find in libraries, his book on analytical mechanics is very nice. I guess it's the best book in analytical mechanics up to now. I gave, after that, according to these books, I gave in several universities as a course of analytics. Next is Alexander Fleckbaum. In fact, he is creator of optimal control theory, not Pankreatic. He presented his thesis in 49. It's the second thesis. You know that in Russia exist 2 levels of doctor sciences. First is PhD. First also has analog of like candidate to science. So PhD here and candidate in science in Russia is very clear. But exists a second level. It's like habilitation, doctor of science. He presented his doctor of science thesis in 49, and Mondragon with his group participated like jury and the committee this thesis. And specific was the following, that Fleckbaum considered only one optimal optimization problem: pastime reaching. How to reach from one point to another point for shortest time. So it was very actual because in these years, you know, the missiles, anti-missiles, was very actual. So he presented his thesis. But after 7 years after, in 56, Mondragon published a paper alone when he extended formulation of optimal control problem for another type of functionals. And this paper unfortunately contained error. Mondragon believed, he presented his principle without proof, he believes that it is sufficient condition. But of course, maximum principle is only necessary condition. Sufficient condition is dynamic programming bound. And exist only 2 problems where they coincide. Where is a necessary and sufficient coincide. It's a linear quadratic optimization problem and time optimization. So any other exists difference conditions. But Fleckbaum was the first. So more exactly to name this principle, not Bellman principle, not Mondragon, but maybe Fleckbaum, Mondragon, and the correct proof of this result was done by Boltanski. After Mondragon and Boltanski published some paper together, and after that, in 61, it appears their book with 4 authors: Mondragon, Boltanski, Mishchenko, concretely the Mishchenko. So this is very famous book, not up to now. This is Mark Eisenman. This is like a father of control theory in USSR. Here is his photo during like a soldier. But during the Second War, he is a very famous person. Bellman considered him like his scientific father. Okay. This is Lyotov, Alexander Lyotov, who was the first chairman.
Eisenman has come to India in '64.
Sorry?
Eisenman came to India in 1964.
Lyotov was the first president of the first Congress IFAC in Moscow in '60. This Congress, a lot of famous persons participated in the Congress, like Bellman, Kalman, Popov, let's say Lyotov, Pampryagin, I don't know more, Chimki, other very famous, college, a lot since '60s. He was president. He's also one of the founders of this Pampryagin. You know that he was absolutely blind. Yeah. He never seen nothing. He, when he had 12 years, he played with some chemical, I don't know, trying to find something. And it was explosion, and he lost his eyes. So from 12 years, he 100% was blind. And he studied mathematician, absolutely nice. He successful. He was impressive scientist, and his results in topologic up to now it's impressive. But control theory for him was like a hobby. It's not a specialty. He was a mathematician. But more citation he has exactly for his impact. Wasn't in topology. His photo in '94, and this is his first visit to Illinois. It was the first mathematician congress, and he was invited to give a plenary talk. And when he about the maximum principle, and when the chairman of the session asked if somebody has a question. One person say, yes, I have. In my university, it's, I guess it was in Illinois also, we have a professor, Mark Shane, who also suggested needle shape variation, like you and Boltanski suggested in your book, but it was in 30s. How you can express this one? And you know how answer the Andreagin? He said, no, in MIT. He said, in MIT, they have the same, the professor who interested in this problem. He had publication on needle shape variation. And Pampryagin answered, what is this MIT? This is very interesting photo from private archive of Boltanski. Boltanski was my professor who gave me a course on mathematics in '66. I was a student of the second level, and he was professor very famous. But after that happened, he also arrived by invitation to work in Mexico, and we became the good friends, and together we prepared the book. And this is photo, this is Boltanski. He has 16 years only. He was the first winner of the schoolboys Olympiad in mathematics. And this is Pampryagin in '41. It was, look, it was 1 month before the Second World War in Russia. In June, 22 June, Hitler attacked. But it was 1 month before. This is also a very famous person. It is Lusternik, very famous mathematician. And this is, I would say, Volkonsky is also important person in logic. So here is Krasovsky. Like Krasovsky, you know that the system with time delay, the system with time delay, to analyze the stability of such system, you need use. It's not sufficient to use Lyapunov function. You need to use some integral terms, and in joint this this function has a name Lyapunov-Krasovsky function. This is Nikolai Krasovsky. His impact also very important because the theorem Barbashin-Krasovsky is a principal theorem on global stability of nonlinear system. This is Sipkin. This is my direct teacher. In 2 years, in 2009, we will try to celebrate 100 years. He is creator of the transformation and digital control systems. And also adaptive control. This is Razanoir and Muchnik. This is a famous scientist, Russian scientist, but this is a student of Mark Eiserman. Look, this is Eiserman and Bellman. Bellman was absolutely a talented person. His book impressive, especially matrix theory. He knows his book. He died very young when he had 59. And last year, he had an insult, cerebral insult. He moved his office as president. Like this. Eiserman visited him. But Bellman considered Eiserman like his scientific father. This is the visit of Kalman. Rudy Kalman, that's me. In Moscow State University in 2008. So I contacted Kalman. And now a little bit on the areas when I worked. Adaptive control. So with whom I personally worked in this area. So Zimkin, Eiserman, Polin, Liu, my good friend, because we have the same age. He also 46. Neither impressed me. Model reference adaptive control. A little bit later, I explained what is this. This Patrick Christopher Parks from England. He was my friend. He died in '96. But when we had a problem with foods after destroying of USSR, sent boxes with food to our laboratory from England. Recurrent inequalities, as Yakubovich, it's famous person, Panin, also famous. And learning automata and Markov chains, it's a group of Dragovich, Narendra, Kador Najim, it's my partner, I show after Zimkin and Nazim, it's my student, ex-student. So, my Institute of Control Science in Moscow, when I worked 5 years ago, so I worked on some stuff now. So I have 2 lives. Different country, different languages, different relations, all is different, but I'm the same. Okay, this is Sipkin in 80s. It's my correct. Impressive person. This is I'm before 10 years before leave years. I am my wife and my son. Now he has 32. I have one daughter and one son. So son was born in Russia. It's karate class. In that period, I studied karate. And this is laboratory of Zimkin. In '78, some colleagues here. The same laboratory in 79. Zipkin is here. Most of them now died. I only confession. And this is me, and this is Zipkin, some seminar at the this is also another photo. This is Polik, who is the head, the next head of laboratory after Zipkin. And I'm with Zipkin 2 days before leaving to Mexico. This is my last photo with him. When I arrived in 94, I also make a photo. That's me, secretary of Zipkin, This is 99, less people from laboratory. This is our friends. This is my ex-student, author of the book. This is another very rich person. He died unfortunately. He was, I would say, son of owner of Aeroflot, Alexander Krasnenko. He died. Here we the same. We free some in Valdai, some nice place in Russia. Here the same Alexander Nessen and another Alexander Kurtyakov, who will visit me next week. Okay, will visit me next week. This is very famous mathematician, world famous mathematician. I also consider him like my teacher, Mark Krasnoselski. And his two students, ex-students, post-professors. But they more younger than me. Him the same year, and Alexei Pokrovsky, 49, but both died. So the wife is Krasnoselsky was I would say, belonged to the ex-student or collaborator of Mark Crane. It's very famous, very famous. And Krasnoselsky designed a qualitative theory of differential equation, introduced interest in index Poincaré, and studying only vector field of the right-hand side of the differential equation, you can say exactly, is the system stable, if exists some oscillations, if exists a different quality, it's possible to say using index Poincaré. He's the creator of this theory. It's Robert Lipzer, you know, like a first person who introduced martingales in stochastic theory. Exists his book with name Martingales. Him and Shiryaev, two persons who worked on that. Now briefly about modular reference adaptive control. Maybe this is the first topic who tried to work without identification of the system. How to realize control without direct identification of system. I explain you now. So consider simplest case. This is a linear system, matrices are constant, but unknown. And this is control. We will consider tracking problem. So you have missile and missile. Difference should be as less as possible. So error of tracking is this one. So equation for tracking is this. Suppose that phi may be known but may be unknown. When you try to reach missile with your anti-missile, you don't know differential equation for missile. So you don't know parameters, you don't know nothing. So A is unknown. Select control like this. One term is proportional to error of tracking, and another control which we try to select to make this E tending to 0. So the question is how to select control K without identification of matrix A. If we will try to identify to make identification of matrix A, And after this estimates, apply to control, this theory has a name. It's adaptive control and identification. The question is it possible not directly, not identify matrix A? Yes, it's possible. I show you how to do that. No, we consider the Lyapunov function, standard quadratic function. I say for my student, I call this function China function, because China's only work with this x squared. So if we make calculate derivative will be like that. This is exact calculation of derivative. After some equivalent transformation, we obtain the following. We obtain three terms. Two terms are negative, so it's good for Lyapunov analysis. If right-hand side negative, it's good. But another term, another term, this one, it has no sign. It may be positive, negative, maybe any what you wish. So how excludes this term from consideration? We will use after, in my lectures, we will use the same idea. It's not my idea, it's ideas of 60s. Model, reference, adaptive control. So this term is like that. Unique possibility to exclude, to make this difference zero. But look, this is exactly differential. If this is zero, we obtain a differential equation with respect matrix which we are interested in. So look, if this is zero, we obtain right-hand side negative, and we immediately obtain conversions, exponential conversions to zero of error of tracking. But what is our control? Our control is this, where k is time varying, and this differential equation, when we put at zero, exactly equal to this. So this is some, now it's modern definition, it's some learning process. This is some learning process. But look, this control, U is this one, K is this one, never use matrix A. So it is possible, we don't know parameters, but we can realize successfully tracking problem. So this is idea of model reference adaptive. In Russia, the person who started is Vladislav Rukovsky. Now he is 86, 87, but still alive. This is my lecture. This photo was done of Professor in Yale University 4 years before. This is also in New Haven. It's a workshop organized by Professor Narendra. And this is photo of participant during this event. This Anna Svani, Professor Narendra, it's Michael Safonov, some Russian who his fathers, not his fathers, his grandfathers immigrated after Russian Revolution from Russia, and he was born in the US. So it's American guy, but his grandfathers absolutely Russians. Here, not so good possible to view. This is Paul Verbos. It's a famous person who was one of the first who created neural networks theory. Here, that's me after Narendra, and this is, it's impossible to see. Toshiko Fukuda, also a student of Narendra. Now it's very famous specialist in Japan who make robots, very, very small robots who can bring, and he studies joint behavior of the group of robots. Now about some groups of St. Petersburg, before the name of Leningrad. This group was the leaders of the group was two persons. One is Yakubovich, another one is Pervazmansky. So two schools together. Wait, this is very one of the first conferences Very young person. This is Famin, this is Yakubovich, this is Kratkov, another you don't know. I know him, but it's not so important. It was, I guess, 82, maybe 78. So it was. This is photo of Tsipkin and Yakubovich. Yakubovich died in 2011, not so sufficient. And his impact is very known. Yakubovich, Kalman, Popov, lemma, frequency lemma. I will mention this in my course. We will study a little bit about that. This is Yakubovich and Nutkin in Kyoto, 95. Yakubovich there was awarded by a special prize. His impact, control theory. This is my institute, Moscow Physical Technical Institute, and I collaborated inside of this institute with three persons, important person. No, first Mark Kaiserman, then Evgeny Pyatnitsky and Boris Rauschenbach. No, Kaiserman is practically father of control theory in Russia. Pyatnitsky is excellent, but very famous person. All of them died. And Boris Rauschenbach was, no, you know that I already mentioned that Stalin signed the designing of two projects, atomic bomb and missiles. For atomic bomb was responsible Professor Igor Kurchatov. For missiles was Sergei Korolev. And Boris Rauschenbach was his right-hand side of Korolev, responsible for designing of control systems for Russian missiles. I show his photo later. No, you know that in that period, Americans take German scientist von Braun for designing FAO. They took him and he designed all programs of missiles in the US. He was responsible for moon program, and in Russia it was Korolev, Sergei Korolev. So this one, Kaiserman, already I showed him. This is Evgeny Pyatnitsky. I collaborate with him 15 years. Because all of these guys, all of these persons worked in cathedra, the Department of Mechanics. And I gave a lecture on mechanics also with them. So this is Boris Rauschenbach. And this is Herbert. No, you know that Herbert, now I a little bit express who is who. No, you know that ideological father of cosmic studies in Russia was Tsiolkovsky. You heard this name, Tsiolkovsky. And ideologic father in the West was Goethe. So Herbert visited Rauschenbach and they studied something. This is photo of Rauschenbach in the 80s. He's in the 90s. And he's not died 1 year. My colleagues, with whom I work in mechanics, and this is now. Now, my wife in Mexico. I arrived in Mexico 23 of January 93. No, you know that when you move from west to east, using plane, you arrive in the same day. You don't spend much. When you have a trip another, you spend 1 day completely. I mean, this way. So in the same day, I leave Russia with my family and arrive in the same day. This was exactly my first photo on the first day, 25 years before. I'm not sure that I recognizable, but more or less. It's at my home. My friends, Michel Malaver from France. Now he is the director of research center in Nantes. This is famous Professor Vladimir Kuchera, professor. He one of famous in linear theory design. Basically worked in Rosenberg problem. They are the same. And this is, unfortunately, he died. He was the first head of department who invited me. This is Angel Herrera. This is his book. Okay, now briefly about marker chains in learning automata. I interested this from early 70s and practically up to now. I'm working on this now. What does it mean, reinforcement learning? No, you have a discrete system. State are discrete. The first question, if state is discrete, you cannot use not derivative, nothing. So how to study the behavior of the system? No idea was arised from Arendra, I guess. He was the first. He suggested to consider probability to be in some state. Formulate the problem in probabilistic sense. But you know the probability now is continuous. And you can calculate derivative, and you can calculate. So this is randomization of the problem, provide you with interesting methods. You can discrete system where standard mathematics not apply. You can do it all in the randomized distributions. Distribution space is continuous, and all of this as a result follows. So the problem of reinforcement learning is this. You don't know characteristic of the system. You only can test. If you're in this state, you obtain this reward or you obtain this penalty. If you're in another one, you obtain another reward and another penalty. And based on these statistics, we can select preferences or probability to be in some states, where our average penalty is less. So this is idea of reinforcement learning. No, I will not discuss, and this is very interesting that this is algorithm of Narendra Shapiro suggested in '75, and it worked. This algorithm works, but no, many years, I guess, like 10 years, not appears no one publication to make a theoretical proof of this algorithm. The first proof was done by myself and my colleague in my book, The Russian, after published in English. So this is algorithm, but exists a different algorithm, Warshawski-Vorontsov algorithm, another one, exists a lot. So how to change this preference such that based only on reaction, one of them, this is vector. So one component 10 to 1, where we have less penalty, and another 10 to 0. This is idea of the Narendra Shapiro algorithm. This is my colleague, friend from France, Kadour Najim, originally is from Morocco, but he graduated and worked all his life in France. He now is retired. With him, this is he visited me in Mexico, and I visited him in France. And this is 3 books which we published with him. One is Learning Theory and Stochastic Programming. This is Learning Automata, and this is Finite Marker Chains. So 3 books published with him. After I was interested in dynamic neural network, and in 2000, I and my students, one of them is Edgar Sanchez and when you arrived from China to me in postdoc, and he, after take position in our department, and now he is head of the department. So with him, we published this book, Dynamic Neural Network. The difference between static neural network and dynamic is following: that in static neural network, all information is feed forward. All information goes in one direction. No feedback. But this one, here we use especially feedback hook. So neural net with feedback has a dynamic or differential neural network in case of continuous time, and recurrent neural network in the case of discrete time. After that, I published two books, especially taking all my lectures on mathematics, which, on my opinion, is obligatory to know scientists who are trying to work in control. So this first volume is deterministic technique. It's like 900 pages. Second one is stochastic. Stochastic technique. Second volume. Both of them in Elsevier. And I guess the students can find it very easy. Not to buy. The students know how to take it from internet. I don't know, but you can do it. And we will use during my course some ideas from here. Stochastic I will not touch. But from my experience, it's important. I spent like 5 years to write this book, deterministic. Stochastic mathematics, I did difficult, but it was always practically in my head. And I practically not use any notes and nothing. I directly write this second volume, and I finish it in 1 year. But deterministic theory of rule, it's 5 years long. Okay, now about robust maximum principle. What does it mean? Historically, happened like this in '95 in one conference in Mexico. I've met Boltiansky, mentioned him that he was my professor in '66, so and after we had a close connection. In that year, his wife died, so he was alone. And we discussed this, and I said to him, look, all your theory, optimal contractility, absolutely no makes sense, absolutely useless. Because all my long life in control, I don't know no one example where optimal control theory can be applied. Why? Because control theory, classical control theory, requires absolutely knowledge of the model and absolutely knowledge of the noise. But not only noise in that period, but noise in the future, actually. So it's unapplicable. And I suggest Boltiansky let make a first step to save your theory with Patrick. What is this? What I suggest? It was my suggestion, but first solution belonged to Boltiansky. Assume that right-hand side is known, but some parameters are not known. But for example, consider discrete time. Not discrete time, discrete case. When you have this parameter takes two values, one value and another value. So you have two models, two possible models of which characterize behavior of your system. So, for example, this is a finite set, maybe not finite. In book we have different, but simple case alpha is two, one model or second model. And problem which we consider is this one. We consider first, before to minimize, to select control which will minimize some loss function, some criterion, we should take maximum with respect to possible dynamics. So it means max formulation of the optimal control. But it's not optimal, it means max problem. We consider the case when we don't know which behavior our system will have. We consider the worst case after find. So the question is, which plant, which model is worst? And a very interesting answer, all. Why? Because we prove papers that min-max solution of the robust optimal control problem is a designing of control which will make equivalent losses of all possible dynamics. This is very interesting. So all are the same, and all of them should obtain the same minimum value for this function. Okay. I will not consider details. This is Boltiansky 97. Okay. Now he is still alive. He has 92 years, but 8 years before he has an infarct cerebral. And he not recognized not me, not never, nobody. 8 years he is like he walks in the bed. So this is in my home, Vladimir Kharitonov, Boltiansky, and Kondorovich is his wife and his daughter. This is I was Boltiansky in 2002. I have photo when he is in special chairs, but I don't wish to show it here. This is a celebration of his 8 years in his center, CIMAT, Centro de Investigación en Mathematics in Spanish. So, look, this is he's in chair after my wife, me, and his wife, his third wife. Difference 36 years. He is respected, both respected. This is our joint book, Robert Marx Principle, Elsevier. It was published in 12. So Boltiansky not participate in writing the book. It was absolutely my book. So all critics in my head. So, but of course I use my publication. Boltiansky, I have a lot of publication. That's a book. Sure, he is the first author. Without question. Now about sliding mode. That happens that when I arrived to Mexico, it occurs, I found that many people of laboratory of Fulkin was creator of sliding mode. Find job also in Mexico. No, Emelianov also was. Filipov. Filipov was mathematician, and Filipov not created sliding mode. Filipov gave exact definition of differential inclusion. I will exactly speak about that. No, but he was not controller. He was mathematician, and he exactly defined what does it mean if, for example, x point not equal some dynamics, it belongs to some possible. What does it mean solution? This is solution in Filipov sense. Okay, but that happens that in that period. Not only I found a job, I was invited to Mexico. Some other group, some other person from laboratory of Fulkin also were invited to Mexico. So like Yuri Orlov, Lukyanov, after Friedman, I invited them. So here appears a group, a very strong group, control theory, and I was obliged also to join this group because it was not my direct interest, but after that I started to work. And this is Emelianov. This is a teacher of Fulkin. Practically, he was the first to suggest sliding mode, but without what sliding mode. He suggests like variable structure system. When you have feedback, you have relay. Relay have +1, relay -1. So he called it like variable structure system. And Fulkin, after that, he found more adequate words calling this like sliding. This is Utkin in the 60s, very young person. Here, my friend and colleague, this is Friedman and Yuri Shtesel in Mexico, 2004. Here I visited Utkin in Germany. He had a sabbatical in Germany, and we some, I don't remember, Munich. And not so good as possible to you. This is Yuri Orlov. This is Alexander Lukyanov. It's Utkin and Shtesil. So this is a group of Shtesil works in Huntsville University in the US. So now briefly my Mexican contacts. Here I participated in Falcon identification in Denmark, and this is visit to Elsinore. So you know that Elsinore, it's some place related with Hamlet, no, of Shakespeare. Hamlet lived in this. If it exists, he was here. So we visited this. After this is Katkovnik. This is person, maybe you know him. Oh my God, so sorry. It was last student of Belmont, last PhD, Joseph Bensman. He has a paper on with Semyon Myrkov, Belmont, and Joseph Bensman, Joseph Bensman, in from Russia too, on I would say it's I forget the topic. Something was my head. Okay. And this he is Basin, Mikhail Basin. He was editor-in-chief several years of journal. It's Franklin Journal Institute. And he asked me, please find a job for me also in Mexico. Find him. So this is one conference in Atlanta. Here is Vladimir Razvan from Romania. It's me. This is Vladimir Kolmanovsky. He died in 2011. Very famous person. Has a book on time delay stochastic system. His special orientation, time delay stochastic differential equation. And this is Alexander Rodkina. It's an ex-student of Kolmanovsky. Now his son, Ilya Kolmanovsky, working in US, and he work in Ann Arbor, live in Ann Arbor. Here, also on the same conference, Galberian, me, and a famous person in Tibet. Okay, I will not discuss more. Here, maybe you know that's Peter Dorato. Actually, he died in 2010. He sent me last his letter, say I'm very ill, get cancer. So he died. He was an editor of several books in the 80s, big books like that, on H infinity theory. He take together all publications, and he was responsible for that. Peter Dorato, very nice person. He played tennis. He played tennis. He was a favorite tennis. His son is coach on tennis. His son, professional coach. This is my students. I don't know why. Here I have good, look, this is, I have a good video, but I don't know what happened. So here, Professor Kurzhansky, who also started to publish several books before myself, and rectify stories. He's also a creator of this. He visited me, him, and my students, all of them in a seminar. I don't know, but I have a good photos. This is Kurzhansky and me, my country house. Here is also some Russian scientist. This is Chernousko. Maybe you have his name, mechanics. This is Subbotina, wife of a very famous person, who is the best friend of Nikolai Krasovsky. Subbotin, he died also. This is in Paris. This entrance to Louvre, you know. the stupid construction. Okay. Here is my participants in conference in Puebla, and he is the vice director of Moscow University, Alexandrov, and some mathematician professor from Cuba. This is my colleagues, my wife and my colleague in Brazil. This is the greatest waterfall. Because it's there also. Here, my participant in CDC in New Orleans. This was exactly the same year when was hurricane which destroyed New Orleans a lot of, and we were the first who assisted this conference. So this Tessil, this is Bensman, Krzyzewski, Orlov, Juan Alvarez, and me. So all of this my group. Here my students, it's Salvador Gonzalez, graduate, Andrei Polikov, who now works in France. With him we have a book. It's very talented person. Maybe he is now a leader among the young community in the world. Andrei Polikov. He's about 2 meters. And with him we have a book, Corrective Ellipsoid Method, and I will explain you what does it mean, how we work, exactly in this course. And this is in Polik with Gawai in CDC 2000. Here Razvan visited Sinvistav, that's the entrance in Sinvistav with Razvan. This is my grandson, my daughter, my country house, my wife in the center. And this is my son, which was small. Now he 34, and his wife, Mexican girl, but not it's not resemble a Mexican. It's like, so here exists my favorite expression, but it belongs to a very famous person, Warshawski. It means the following, that of any situation you can always go out in disgrace. So, and I would like to finish some Indian wisdom, which I also like. It says that finally all will be fine. But if something is not fine, it means that this is not the end. So this is very interesting. So I finish. So my presentation about that is finished. I don't know. We need to make 5 minutes break, or I can start. How you prefer? Because from here I start my lectures.
Start in the evening.
We can continue.
No. Now we go for lunch.
So okay. So next, what do you wish? In 4. Okay. So thank you for